And is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit.
Well, here we go. It is main event time here at 365 Pro Wrestling. As you see, the great one, John Atlas, set to try to take the global championship away from Eazy-E, Eric Cairnie.
And I'm so glad you watched our interview earlier on tonight with the great one, John Atlas. I made a mistake. I just called him John Atlas. But you know what? He corrected me. I will take that. That was on me. The great one, John Atlas, and he is ready to capture the global championship here tonight.
Well, it wasn't a great interview for you, Mark, but John Atlas, though, he had a great opportunity, saw it, and chose to really put himself in this spot to take on Eazy-E, Eric Cairnie for the global championship.
If you don't ask for the opportunity, the answer's always going to be no. John Atlas takes what he wants.
And as well, you have to remember, we saw Eazy-E, Eric Cairnie earlier on have a elimination triple threat match for the Grand Championship. He was able to retain that title, but how much has been taken out of him, Mark, though? And now he's got to go up against a fresh John Atlas.
That is the big question here, Jason. How much energy does Eazy-E, Eric Cairnie have left in him to defend the global championship? And this is why 365 Pro Wrestling made this rule, where if you have two championships, you should relinquish the other championship, the Grand Championship, around the shoulder of Eazy-E, Eric Cairnie. You want to concentrate on being the global champion. That is the most prestigious belt in this promotion, and that is the one they want Eazy-E, Eric Cairnie to focus on. But oh no, he wants to defy the odds. He wants to defy management and go for a twofer here tonight. Is it going to cost him?
I think if you followed Eazy-E, Eric Cairnie, he does things his own way, and that has been the trend tonight. Supposed to relinquish the Grand Championship, decided to defend it, was able to be a successful title defense. Will he have a successful global championship title defense here against the great one, John Atlas?
Ontario, standing 6'2" tall, weighing 225 pounds. He is the four-time All-Canadian Vanier Cup winner, Grey Cup winner.
Just let me handle it so that people can hear me. You're looking at a four-time.
It's been a rough night here for John Atlas on the microphone.
This is a Grey Cup champion.
At a four-time All-Canadian, a former Vanier Cup winner, a Grey Cup champion, the great one, John Atlas.
Well, there's no denying the athletic
Maybe I should do your job too after I'm done taking his belt.
I'll hold my thought.
And fighting out of St. Catharines, Ontario, weighing 201 pounds, he is your 365 Grand and champion, the belt collector, and the greatest man alive, Eazy-E Eric Cairnie.
There is Eric Cairnie, the belt collector, holder of the Global and Grand Championships. Trying to get as many belts under his record, but he is establishing himself as one of the best Grand Champions in 365 wrestling history.
But is he biting off more than he can chew?
Look how Atlas jumps Cairnie before the bell. And that's a wise strategy maybe, especially with the punishment Cairnie took earlier on in that triple threat elimination.
He doesn't have to worry about offsides or encroachment. If you're John Atlas, you go right in for the kill.
Yes, no flags there for unnecessary roughness as the great one, John Atlas, in control. But here's Cairnie. Nice suplex. Beautiful snap suplex from Cairnie. And now Cairnie just raining down blows. Shots to the midsection. Oh, and a beautiful right hand from Cairnie. That puts Atlas on his knees. Fans behind Cairnie. Irish Rip reverse. Cairnie set into the turnbuckle. Atlas follows up, floats over, lands on his feet on the apron. Ducks the clothesline, does Cairnie. Springboard drop kick, and that puts Atlas on the floor. That was a beautiful drop kick right to Atlas's face, and then he gets introduced face first to the ring apron. Big right hand one more time from Cairnie. He's feeling the effects of that knife edge chop from Cairnie. Cairnie just continues to go to town. And I'm impressed with the start here from Cairnie as he was jumped from behind, and once before, he's wrestled 2 men earlier, Mark.
Well, and this is what you need to do. You want to try and finish this off early. As you mentioned, Jason, advantage John Atlas when it comes to the energy factor after fighting in that one match earlier on tonight. You want to try and finish it early if you're Eazy-E Eric Cairnie.
And once again, Cairnie just throws Atlas face first onto that ring apron. Atlas. Oh, this is not looking good for the great one. Pick up for a pile driver, no, too much size. Atlas blocks. Atlas back body drops Cairnie, lower back, right on the hardest part of the ring.
You know, there have been many football players that have later found success in the professional wrestling industry. Atlas wants to become the next one in that regard. He's already the great one, and I say the only great one in this industry.
Well, right now, he's putting a good game plan together. He's going to work on the lower back, and he'll do it one more time as he runs Cairnie right into the ring post. He's now got a target to work after, does John Atlas, and that's a smart strategy. He may be cocky, he may be brash, but you can't deny the athletic ability of the great one, John Atlas.
He survives and thrives, does John Atlas. And he knows that he can't win the title outside of the ring, so he does the smart thing and brings Eazy-E back in the ring.
And once again, Atlas goes to work on the lower back here of Eric Cairnie. Just putting the boots to him, some elbows. And we'll put a knee right into that lower back. And those are just so devastating. Taking all the air as well out from Cairnie. Plus the effects of having a match as Atlas went for a pinning attempt to count a 1. Now some of that frustration goes in with good right hands onto Cairnie. But so brash, so cocky is John Atlas.
And he's got to focus on Eazy-E here. Cannot turn his back on him. Good forearm shots here from Atlas. Atlas, he'll send Cairnie up off the ropes. Big clothesline from Atlas. I think
right now Cairnie may need an Atlas to find his way to get back into this matchup. As Atlas picks up backbreaker. And he just continues to inflict the pain on the back and keeps moving up from where he wants to work on. Started with the small of the back, the lower back now goes to the small of the back.
Small moves lead to big things.
Wow, that was a very lazy cover there from John Atlas, though.
He's just toying with him.
That may be show, but anytime he's got a chance to put away someone of the caliber of Easy Eric Cairnie, you try to find a way to do it. Playing with his food, maybe, is John Atlas. Atlas sends Cairnie into the buckle, but Cairnie meets him with a big boot. Cairnie now perched up on that top turnbuckle. What's Cairnie gonna do? The back was just too hurt, couldn't focus, and he gets wiped out, tripped off the second turnbuckle on the inside by Atlas.
And what a move there.
Well, once again, just shows the IQ that Atlas has. He may be brash, a little conceited, very smart inside that squared circle.
He's been around a long time, just an athlete all of his life, John Atlas, the great one, as he continues to put the boots to the champion.
Stomped on the throat there of Easy E Eric Cairnie, the global champion. As Atlas just taking his time, slowly and methodically, going to work on Cairnie. Cairnie sent in, Cairnie floats over, caught on the shoulders here of Atlas. Cairnie escapes, and it's a lung blower from Cairnie right to the back, this time on the great one, John Atlas. And that was a great desperation move there from Cairnie.
Desperate moves from desperate men. Did you know that greed is one of the 7 deadly sins? A greedy man is Easy E Eric Cairnie as he tries to hold on to all the gold.
Just good presence of mind there on the replays. You see from Cairnie to escape, slide out the back door, and land that lung blower onto the back of Atlas. But that took a lot out of Cairnie right now, and he hasn't had the ability to follow up. But both men's backs are just in agony. Right hand, swing and a miss again from Atlas. Right hand lands from Cairnie. Right lands forearm shots this time from Cairnie, and Cairnie starting to get back in this matchup. Irish whip reverse. Shoulder forearm shot, I should say, with a kip up. Drop kick from Cairnie. Cairnie is feeling it. Ducks the clothesline from Atlas. Go behind, back elbow though lands from Atlas. Atlas, Irish whip reversed. Here comes Atlas. He gets a stop with the momentum, sends in. Cairnie with a beautiful German suplex, but Cairnie just eats it. Roaring forearm. Roaring elbow from Cairnie and a big splash as well. Step up insecurity from Cairnie. Finally puts Atlas down. What a sequence of moves here from Cairnie. Cairnie with a big knee into the corner. Cairnie feeling it right now. 1, 2, and no, can't put away John Atlas.
Again, the longer this match goes, the more it turns the tide toward John Atlas. John Atlas, the great one, getting back to his feet immediately. How much energy does Eric Cairnie have left in him from that other match?
Well, we don't know, but he's going to have to go into those reserve tanks. Says there's a big boot from the great one, John Atlas. Atlas sends in, and a big spine buster from Atlas. This could be it. 2, and no! How did Cairnie kick out? But Atlas, he'll go right back to work on Cairnie. Scoop, sit out, power bomb. Look at the bounce, 2, and no! Cairnie kicks out, and I don't know how he kicked out of that one, Mark.
I don't know either. You know, last month we talked about it, the Grand Championship, when Easy E Eric Cairnie captured his second piece of gold in 365 Pro Wrestling. He went through an absolute war, so we know that he can take a whole ton of punishment but something's got to give.
Look at the bounce on that. Well, it was an authoritative sit-out powerbomb from the great one, John Atlas, and somehow Cairnie was able to get the shoulder up.
That was a I need to go home with some gold with authority. John Atlas, the great one, just putting the hurt.
If Atlas keeps this up, he will be walking out of the red chevron with some gold around his waist. And now just puts the knee right to the back of the neck of Cairnie, choking him on the rope. Here's Atlas. Once again sets Cairnie up. Cairnie shot in, ducks the clothesline, does Cairnie. Tilt-a-whirl, head scissors, take over to an armbar.
No, wait just a minute. This is the Border City stretch, Jason.
Border City stretch put on from Cairnie. As Atlas trying to fight his way to the ropes, get a rope break with his legs. And just using that upper body strength, that power from Atlas. Can he reach the rope? Yes, he can. That was a desperate move there from the champion.
The ability to get the Border City stretch in from Easy Eric Cairnie. He has been able to put many a foes away with that move, with that submission. But good on John Atlas, the bigger of the two men, to be able to get to that rope quickly before the pain really started setting in.
Good presence of mind, able to find the rope, get the rope break, but now Atlas a little bit shaken up. Super kick lands square on the jaw of Atlas from Cairnie. Shining Wizard! Shining Wizard from Cairnie. Will this be it to retain the title? 1, 2, and no! How does Atlas kick out this time? That was a Shining Wizard square to the back of Atlas's head.
I think this was just out of instinct. What a Shining Wizard from the champion. Delivered right on the button, right to the back of the head of the great one. Able to roll him over rather quickly, too.
Could have been a flash knockout situation where Atlas woke up just as he heard the 2 count and able to kick out with his instincts kicking in. Cairnie trying to go to the top rope. Cairnie taking his time. Cairnie splash, but misses. Atlas gets out of the way. Atlas senses this could be his chance. Atlas spear! A spear from Atlas, 2, then no! Thought that was gonna be 3, but somehow Cairnie kicked out.
That was a slow count from the official. John Atlas knew it immediately.
Well, it was a spear in pro wrestling, a tackle in football, and we've talked about the credentials. He's won Vanier's, Grey Cups with those types of tackles, and he was just seconds away from becoming the 365 Pro Wrestling Global Champion.
A 4-time All-Canadian. John Atlas has been able to win gold from everywhere with moves like that spear.
Now just talking trash. Oh, I'm trying to add insult to injury right now. I don't think this is very wise here from the man called the Great One.
There's a reason why he's called the Great One, Jason.
Oh, roaring forearm, roaring elbow from Cairnie. He dropped the elbow pad. Super kick. Atlas was aware of it. Atlas roll up. 1, 2, and Cairnie kicks out. Super kick. No. Cairnie blocked. Roll up attempt from Cairnie. 2 and 3. He got him. He got him. Cairnie retains. Cairnie outthought Atlas. He beat Atlas with Atlas's move.
Did he get the shoulder up? I don't think he did. We got to take a look at this, folks. John Atlas is beside himself.
So here's the roll up from Atlas. That's a 2 count, definite 2 count. Atlas tries the super kick. Cairnie with the roll up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's a definite 3 count. And a successful night at the office here from Easy E, Eric Cairnie.
2 matches, 2 wins, and again, John Atlas standing in the ring. The great one with not such a great night as Easy E Eric Cairnie walks away with not only the Grand Championship, but as a result of this matchup, still the 365 Pro Wrestling Global Champion.
Well, Easy E Eric Cairnie. He walked into the red chevron with 2 sets of gold around his waist, and he will leave the red chevron with those same gold all around his waist. Still 365 Pro Wrestling Grand Champion, 365 Global Champion, Eazy-E Eric Cairnie.
But what is management going to say, Jason, after a night like this? He still has both championships. They have been adamant since the beginning of this promotion that they do not like seeing double champions, especially when one of those pieces of gold is the Global Championship, the most prestigious belt in this promotion. What are they going to have to say to Eazy-E Eric Cairnie from this defiance?
They are definitely going to have some serious discussion. Is 365 management, as Eric Cairnie still has 2 sets of gold around his waist. But that is a decision that'll have to come next month, and that is when we will see you next month here at the Red Chevron. So, for my broadcast partner, Mark Perry, I'm Jason Hagholm. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time for 365 Pro Wrestling on Rogers TV.